everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to Main Character with Yasmin. I'm your host. What do you want to call me today? Mommy? Queen? Jezebel? Okay, I've been obsessed with the word Jezebel and sacrilegious. No idea why. I just found out what sacrilegious meant, like, what, 5 days ago? Jezebel, isn't that like a freak? Isn't that a little freaky? Um, we have a lot to discuss today. We have a lot of, okay, also, I'm wearing glasses right now. If you're not watching this, I am wearing glasses. And the problem with wearing glasses is that sometimes you get a glare. But the thing is, I wore the exact same outfit when I recorded last week. And what I should have done, what I could have done, was change. But the thing is, I'm going to have to commit to the bit. I wore this all day. I've sweated on it. If you hear brown noise in the back, that's not brown noise. That's my AC going with a whopping bill of $200 a month for my electricity bill because it is Lucifer's home in New York City. It is an inferno. It is exactly, this is climate change. Sorry, it should not be 95 fucking degrees. And if it should be, it's still climate change. Sorry, it's not my fault. Well, actually it is my fault. It is human man did this. Men did this. Men do everything bad. We'll talk a lot about men today on today's episode. And let's start with talking about my favorite man, Donald Trump. Actually, I'll pause for that. We'll get to that in a sec. I want to tell you guys about my life first because that's more important than an attempted assassination. My mom came to visit me. She did. My mom came. She never visited me in New York ever. So that was like a really crazy experience for me for like showing her my home, having her meet a couple of my friends. She came to my comedy show. I produced and performed at my own comedy show with my friend. And we did it in Brooklyn and it was amazing. We had incredible comics there and I performed and I was really nervous because my mom always says to me, like, it makes her so uncomfortable, some of the jokes I say. And I'm like, what? It's not like I'm making like fucking jokes all the time or like saying how I got a noise complaint from having too loud of sex or like, being mentally unstable or, talking about my period or like, just so many different things that just make a parent uncomfortable. But obviously I'm like, what? Like, babes, I'm a performer. This is what just happens. I'll do anything for the bit. And so when my mom came, she was like, I kind of told her some of the things that I was going to say just so she got like prepped. And there was one joke about like challengers and like pickleball and my family. And she was like, if you say that joke, I'm walking out of the fucking venue. So that was off limits. You know what? Boundaries is important. So I'm going to respect that. But I did some jokes and we had an EMT on site just in case she went into cardiac arrest. Not because she's old, but because I'm a whore. But no, we didn't have an EMT on site. But she was just incredible. Great crowd. Everything was great. We sold out the show. I just feel so honored. I tried new material that really landed. It was like my uncle who also came, my mom's brother. He came to my first comedy show in New York in October of last year, and then he came to this one, and he was like, "It's insane." Because what I've been doing in New York is like going to different open mics and like actually investing and getting better, and like investing in my comedy and trying to be the best version of like, not even the best version of myself, but the best version of, I guess, my work ethic there is, because like, I think it's so easy when you are a performer and you have a day job to just get lazy. And not even a performer, but just anything you do. If you're not practicing every single day, or if you're not practicing when you get 5 minutes of free time, shit gets rusty. It's like a sport. Like if you're not going to play basketball for a year and you go and try to play in the fucking NBA, you're going to be shit. Was that an awful comparison? I don't know. I don't do sports. Everyone was like watching the whole like England versus Spain game yesterday, and I was like, wait, sorry, I literally, I don't give a shit. Sorry, literally sorry. Even my family was like, España, España, and then some of my friends were like, England, England. I'm like, it's colonizer versus colonizer. Which one do you guys want? Please, I love them. I love Spain and England. Sorry. I always say that, like my dad loves France. Like he's almost like this like Stockholm syndrome effect of like, I'm grateful that France took over Lebanon because you know what they did for our foundation, you know what they did for our education, what they did for us. And I'm like, babes, they literally colonized your country. But also, I can't say shit because I wasn't alive back then. So I guess, like, that's his personal experience. Who am I to say anything? But yeah, that's what's been going on with my life. And then, like, my friends were here last week. 4th of July happened. It was crazy. My best friends came. It was amazing. We went on a boat. We sang, like, Empire State of Mind while, like, next to the Statue of Liberty. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is, like, actually, I think what the American dream is supposed to be. Like, not a bunch of white people on a boat celebrating, but, like, I don't know, me being daughter of immigrant parents and, like, grandparents, and it really is, like, showing you what the American dream should be. Like, I don't know, advocating for people who don't have much and are coming to this country for new opportunities and a new life, whether that's because they're coming for, you know, jobs and resources, or they're coming because they have to flee their country, which is the reason why my dad came. But yeah, that was really exciting. Being with my best friends was just incredible. I was on a fucking bender. Like, I haven't drank that much in so long. I literally at one point, like, was like, oh, I'm this close to blacking out. Okay, word, on the 4th of July, I'm this close to blacking out. I'm sorry, I don't think our founding fathers really envisioned a bunch of girls doing tequila shots on a rooftop in the Lower East Side when they were writing the Constitution, but nevertheless, she persisted, and that is on feminism. Good job. Good job. So what we're going to talk about today is some current events that have been going on. And then we're going to dive deep into my thought process on why men see us as in women, as objects, as disposable, and look at us less than. And before you say, let me just stop you right now. Okay. Before you say, oh, she's a man hater. She hates men. Well, my brother's really good at... My dad loves what... I respect women. Shut the fuck up. Let me finish, and I'll say it for you. Not all men. Are we happy? Okay, guys, amazing. When not all men are bad. We can acknowledge that. We can say that. But a lot of men are pretty fucking shitty, okay? Just like a lot of women are. Sorry. Do I believe some women shouldn't have rights? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Marjorie Taylor Greene? None. Sorry. I'll say this. I literally, in my actual Nikki Haley, shouldn't have rights. So I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that she's a daughter of immigrants. I don't know if she was or her grandparents were. I don't care. She shouldn't have rights. She's a cunt. My mom's going to throw up when she hears that word. But what we're going to talk about is starting off with the elephant in the room, and that is the ugly fuck that is Donald Trump, who was, I'm laughing at his attempted assassination. I'm not laughing that he almost died, because I'll tell you my reasoning on why I'm actually glad he didn't die. A 20-year-old boy attempted to kill former President Donald Trump this weekend at a MAGA rally right before the RNC, and he missed him by a sliver. It literally hit his ear. He ended up shooting someone, a bystander in the back, who was shielding other people who was there for the MAGA event, and he lost his life, and other people were injured. And that was just kind of crazy. Like, I remember, like, my cousin and I in Christmas, we, like, always make a predictions list for the year that's to come. And we said that there's going to be an attempted assassination on the president. We don't know which president it is, but there's going to be an attempted assassination. Like, I think because things are so heightened that it's like something so out of left field is going to happen, which did happen. I mean, this has happened before, right? Like, this has happened a couple times before, more than just JFK. But RIP, I guess. I sound like a bitch, but it's actually quite interesting because I'm going to sound so QAnon right now. And I want to preface this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't really bite into the whole, like, you know, well, actually, if you really think about this, the Illuminati, if you look at the dollar bill, like, if you just see that Beyonce did this, well, like, you know what? I don't really give a shit about that. But I do have to say, it is very interesting, and if you really think about it, How the fuck didn't the Secret Service know what was up? The Secret Service and Trump's whole team comes days before to that exact location, and they do a risk management drill almost, and they look at every point of this is a position of risk. If the president is, or the former president is standing right there, he could be shot or hurt from this angle, up there to right there. There is no chance that they missed that spot specifically. Also, is it fucking weird that it literally just slivered his ear? Is that weird? And then is it also weird that he got up so fast, and then that there was like I think it's a historic photo that's going to be in textbooks in the future of him holding his fist up with the American flag behind him and the Secret Service next to him, a little blood on his face, doing like, I don't know, a hoorah type moment. And that is the photo he is going to make so much money off of. That is our next president of the United States. Trump is winning. This literally sealed the deal. And before you say, oh my God, what? Like, no, Biden's going to win, blah, 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 blah. There is no shot. Biden fucked it for himself. Also, and like, I'm not a Trump supporter. I actually think he's one of the worst creatures alive. I think a lot of people in the Republican Party are actually a waste of space. Just like the Democratic Party. Like, Ice-T said this once, and I'll literally say it almost on every episode. They're two different wings on the same bird crashing into the same brick wall. The two-party system's fucking flawed. It's stupid. The Constitution was written in 1776, so long ago. They weren't even thinking about women having rights then. They weren't thinking about black people. They weren't thinking about brown people. They weren't thinking about queer people. All they knew was with their wooden-ass fucking teeth, no British allowed because they're taxing our tea and they want Protestant I don't even know. I like blacked out in all of AP US history. I actually just lied to you. I wasn't even in AP US history. I was in the regular schmegular because I don't give enough of a shit. I sound like such a bimbo. I love that. But the reason why I say that I'm glad that he didn't die is because you look at Trump and he's like a god to these people. He is this ringleader who is leading them to serenity, to the kingdom. It's like he's the second coming of Christ. These people look up to him. They idolize him. This man is their everything. And if they lost him, if Donald Trump died, chaos would happen. All these people with, I don't know, like an IQ of 2 maybe, and some of them an IQ of 200. Some of them are very intelligent people, but just genuinely lack human regard and human empathy. They would lose their shit. You think January 6th was bad? Imagine it worse. And that was when Trump was still alive. He just lost the election. And who comes after Trump? Well, we know now. His new vice president pick, JD Vice. I just want to get this out by saying I don't trust a JD. I used to be in an entanglement with a JD when I was younger. Never ends well. I don't trust a JD. What the fuck is JD even short for? Jeremiah, Delilah. What is JD even short for, you stupid cuck? Also, sorry to my short kings. He's 5'7". I could take him. Literally put me in a room with JD fucking Vice. It's over. Was it Vice? Vance. I'm even thinking about him being vice president. Like, this is how scary this man is. He just announced this today. I'm recording this today on the 15th of July. He is so anti-abortion, he wants a full national abortion ban. He has voted against IVF. Our vice president nominee for Donald Trump is against IVF. If IVF was illegal, hell would break loose. And the reason why hell would break loose is because I wouldn't have been born. I'm an IVF baby. Imagine a world without me. Chaos, burning, darkness, evil. I'm the only reason why the IVF should be legal. Wait, can we actually like tagline that? Yasmin Hamadi is the only reason why IVF should be legal. For any other reason, stupid. No, but actually IVF like gives so much. It's not even about like, oh, sex. Like, fuck religion for a second. It's literally science that allows so many people, straight people, queer people, people who like can't have kids naturally. It gives them an opportunity to have a family, to have children. I know I'm probably going to have IVF. My ovaries aren't like hoorah-rah like your average 25-year-old woman. It's just fucking, it's so frustrating. It is so annoying that we actually allow these men and also women and people to really believe and let religion, let Christianity, let whatever religion, Islam, Judaism, I was going to say Scientology, babes. That is not a religion, but allows these religions to dictate their lives, and not only to dictate their lives, but everyone else's lives. This is supposed to be land of the fucking free, and this is anything but that. Alongside being anti-IVF and anti-abortion, he is anti-climate change. He is one of the biggest donors in fossil fuels. He wants to raise our greenhouse gas emissions by like 1 trillion. That's actually false. That's not the right number. But it's really astonishing to me that people are like, oh my God, like this is a really good candidate for it. He's an author. He's a Marine Corps veteran. He's a pussy ass bitch. He's a dangerous man. He gives incel. And the reason why I'm talking so much about him, Donald Trump, and men is because I'm really angry. I'm angry about the genuine disregard about women, fuck women for a second, about human beings in general. There is no regard for human decency. These people want control. And the sad thing is that as a country, we cannot come together to beat evil, and the evil that is the new Republican Party. It really terrifies me. And you know what? I can't be friends with you if you vote for Trump. I can't live with myself if I'm your friend. In 2016, I'm not going to even lie to you, I kind of like overlooked it. 2020, I had arguments, disagreements with. I became friendly, but not friends with people. Now, I'm going to cuss you out. I think you're an idiot with 2 brain cells. I'm going to move on from that because he's actually getting me riled up, and I really don't want to break a sweat since it is Lucifer's dungeon in New York City right now, like I said before. No, before I stop with that for a second, I actually really do need you guys to vote. I need you guys to vote. It is super important. It's coming up. I want you to vote nationally. I want you to vote locally. This every year is the most important election of our lifetime. But it actually is this time. All right, I'm moving on. The internet's been going wild right now. TikTok's kind of going off. I feel like it's like, I don't want to say like the year of the woman, but like I feel like so many women are coming out on TikTok airing their grievances of how men wronged them. You have how like Central C fully dogged Madeline RG and completely humiliated her, cheated on her, disregarded her, disrespected her in front of the world. Whether he was cheating with Ice Spice, which also not Ice Spice's fault because we're not going to pin a woman against a woman. If she knew, that's shitty. None of my business. She was a part of a PR scandal that everyone was thinking Madeline's in on, like Central C cheating on her. This is all for his new song with Ice Spice to drop. When actually he just like disrespected her and cheated on her and like would talk about dissing her and belittling her on his songs and then inviting her out to fucking Lagos on a trip and then getting them photographed. And then after she said, don't talk to me anymore, him calling her mom, calling her friends, calling her, having his team call her team. And I thought that just like is the bare minimum. If someone doesn't want to talk to you, don't reach out to them again. If it's an emergency, figure it out. But that's not your concern anymore. Number 2, Brooke Schofield airing Clinton Kane out. Clinton Kane, bitch ass. I'm actually so sick of this man. If I hear him belt one more time and have his vein pop out of his neck, I will lose my shit. She came out with a series that basically said how he lied about his mom dying, about his brother dying, about his aunt dying, about everyone dying, how he was cheating on her, how he was lying to her, taking her money, X, Y, and Z. And all of this follows the blueprint of Risa Tisa, who is this icon, legend, Nobel laureate. She never won a Nobel Peace Prize, but she might as well have. She came out with a series on TikTok earlier in the year that says, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? It goes from A to Z of how she met her then partner to how it ended in their divorce. How he lied to her, scammed her, cheated on her, how he was like moved in with her during COVID, took advantage of her money, took her money, started isolating her from her family and friends. So much narcissistic behavior. And I feel like as a society, we always slap on labels so quickly without actually like being late, like being actually evaluated. Like everyone's like, oh, I have OCD. Girl, do you? Like, oh, that guy's a narcissist. No, he might not be a narcissist. He's just a dick. Like, but these people are giving narcissist. And it's really scary. It's really scary because I feel like so many women I have met, myself included, have met narcissistic men who just say that they're just trying to live their life, and men, they have their own troubles and trauma, which I understand. But then in what world does that make it okay to then treat someone else badly for your own trauma? Riddle me that, Clinton Kane. Riddle me that, any man with a heartbeat at this rate. And I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. I'll say it for you. Not all men. Okay, are we happy? Are we happy with that? Not all men are bad men. Okay, good. We got that out of the way. But a lot of you motherfuckers are. And the way you treat women, the way you disrespect the people around you, doesn't make you a strong man. It makes you weak. I always remember, like, in college, so many of my friends and I would just, I wouldn't even say allow men to treat us so horribly, but I think the expectation was just, they're gonna hurt us anyway, so might as well just go for it. Like, I remember men in college punching drywall and then us laughing about it like, he just got angry. He just got angry, babe. He just had too much to drink. That is fucking crazy. No one should be raising a hand at anything. The way men would be weird with their Snapchats, the way men would just disregard women. And like, there was one man in college. Oh, I want to name his name so bad. I want to say his name. But he posted on social media of how like people who get abortions, women who get abortions, they're murderous. This is a zygote's life. In Jesus' name, amen, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you are pro-abortion or pro-choice, you are a bad person. You're going to hell, blah, 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 blah. But babes, didn't you buy a friend of mine Plan B after you had unprotected sex? Didn't you decide that your pleasure was more important so you didn't wear a condom? Didn't you? I swear to actual God, the hypocrisy of men is crazy. You see that even with our former president, who like actually is a predator, but also is like, states can do whatever they want. You can be pro-life. That's totally fine. I just don't understand. And this is the basis of where misogyny lies. It's that men don't see women as equal to them. I think like the way misogyny works is that sometimes it's, like a man actually saying that women should stay at home and work, like that football player on the Kansas City Chiefs who literally said at a commencement speech that what a woman's duty is to cook, clean, be a good wife, be a good mother, and hoorah. All the way to what I experience at the gym. It's crazy. Whenever I'm like lifting weights, I get stared at as if like I'm not strong enough for those weights. Or for example, if I'm on a machine and I'm quickly getting up to get water that's literally 3 inches away, all I'm doing is moving my body up and getting water, and a man coming and just sitting down. And I'm telling him, hey, I was on that machine, and he goes, you can wait a couple minutes, I'll be done in a sec. I can guarantee you, I can literally promise you this right now, if I was a man, he would not be doing that. Now, that's how low misogyny can be. Or that's how minuscule it can be. But little things like this, it literally adds up. It's just frustrating to me. And I don't want to like be like, oh, I'm airing my grievances a bunch today. But like, it's actually crazy to me. I just think there's just a lack of empathy that they cannot get to. And I think what they don't understand is that misogyny actually affects them too. Toxic masculinity affects them. The patriarchy affects them. Men have the highest rate of offing themselves more than any other person or gender there is. Misogyny is embedded in our world. No matter what it is, when we're watching TV, when we're living our lives, when we're going out, when people are on dating apps, when you're talking to people at work, misogyny is everywhere. And it's not only with men, it is with women too. I even have internalized misogyny. There's things that come out of my mouth that sometimes that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I'll sometimes see a girl wearing something that I wouldn't wear, and I'm like, why is she wearing that? That is misogyny. And I'll be the first to hold myself accountable for that. I'm watching Love Island right now, and there's a debate about body count. When a man will be ran through talking about having sex with 100 women, but the second a woman is at, I don't know, 12, 13, she's a whore. That double standard is misogyny. When a man punches a white wall and gets mad and angry and then the next day apologizes and goes, sorry, babe, didn't mean to. I just acted up like that. You didn't act up. You were angry and you didn't know how to channel your anger and you made someone scared. That is misogyny. Yes, misogyny is very complex in the way that it is explained. In the dictionary, it's about like when you despise or have prejudice against women. But I don't think it's when you hate women. I think it's when you just see us less than. That's my version of misogyny. You see misogyny even with the Vanderpump Rules with Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix. The way he was crying and gaslighting her and belittling her and then making it out to be that she was in the wrong for so many years. That's misogyny. And I think we're just so okay with that because it's the foundation of how we live our lives. It just makes me so angry and upset. And before you say, oh, she's an angry feminist, I'm not even an angry I'm just an angry woman. I'm an angry feminist, sure. And when people hear that, they're like, oh my God, she's a radical. She's crazy. She's all the way to the left, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I just believe in equality, in basic human rights, that someone, a man, shouldn't look at women less than because of their gender. Period, point blank. And why the hell that's so radical, I have no idea. And that's misogyny right then and there. It pisses me off. It's toxic masculinity, which, by the way, surpasses more than just cis men. A lot of people have toxic masculinity, and it's a lot in the queer community as well. I've seen a lot of lesbians have toxic masculinity. I've seen a lot of queer people have toxic masculinity. It's just so sad. It's just so sad to me because they don't know that it's affecting them too. They don't know that the patriarchy is literally fucking them. Men have the highest rate of offing themselves more than any other gender. They are alone. Men feel like they can't cry and talk to their friends and buddies because they're afraid of looking weak. They're afraid of looking like, I put in quotation marks, a pussy, misogyny, right then and there. And it's just so sad because I feel like if we actually just allowed and supported men by showing them that toxic masculinity is actually killing them, it is actually not only harming them, but it's harming everyone else around them, then maybe there's some unlearning that we can do to allow them to A, actually love themselves, B, take care of themselves and learn how to treat another human being. Forget a woman, to treat someone else better. It makes me upset because it's like, I think back to my college days in like sorority and frat culture and like, it's crazy. Like, I just feel like I allowed so much bullshit to happen. I'll tell you one story. There was one time I was hooking up with this guy and, you know, he was a nice guy, nice kid, cool guy, for like 2 years or something. And I actually liked the guy. I actually was like, oh my God, I actually liked him at the time, even though I'm looking back now and like, I did not. I think I just liked the attention. And he was like, you know, formal's coming up, and this is a formal where everyone would go to Big Bear. And Big Bear is a really cool place up in the California mountains near Southern California. And I was like, I've always wanted to be asked to Big Bear. No one's ever actually asked me before. All my friends go. I never get invited, blah, 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 blah. So he's like, come over tonight. Let's talk about it. Let's hang out. And then tomorrow I'll like actually like formally ask you everything. So I go over. We end up hanging out, doing the deed, whatever. And I sleep over. We have a good morning. Everything's great. I then leave. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to Big Bear. Like, I text all my friends. I can't believe it. I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. Also, may I add, I'm almost positive I made him dinner that night. Like, we were drunk and I was like, I'm going to make you some like Trader Joe's frozen food. So I'm like literally popping my badussy just so like, just to show like, you know, I'm really grateful for this. Like, I'm actually really excited. He then texts me the next day and he says to me, hey, Yaz, sorry, but like, I know I asked you last night. I know we had a really good time, but like, I actually kind of am seeing someone right now. And like, I did promise her that I'd take her to Big Bear, blah, 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 but I think you're really cool, blah, 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 and I think you're really nice, blah, 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 and you're really hot, blah, 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 and you're really smart, blah, 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 blah. What just happened was a man using me for gain and taking advantage of my kindness. Taking advantage of me. Not even of my kindness, just taking advantage. And taking advantage doesn't actually have to always mean physically. It also is emotionally taken advantage of. Because that's the really shitty thing. And I know it's like, obviously, like, I don't lose sleep over this. Like, I'm fine. I've never talked about it in therapy. Like, I'm okay. But it's the fact that like little moments like that, as a woman, you remember that shit. You remember, I was just an object to you that night. You didn't care. You used my body. I trusted you. And I know that sounds so like small, but like, it's not even the fact that there was another woman. It's the fact that like you said something for me to say yes and then took it back. Because I'm not even kidding you. I wouldn't have actually gone there and done that if I didn't think there was going to be a chance that like he actually was lying. Like, I never thought that someone would like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something so small like that in college. And I was like, that really hurts. That really hurts. I hear so many times about like my friends who go on dates with guys, and it's like crazy. It's actually insane for a man to ask you one question about yourself, for a man to acknowledge like one thing about you without them gaining, like wanting gain from that, is radical. It's actually crazy. And that just goes back to show that I think we raise men to only think about themselves, which goes back to the toxic masculinity that like it's kind of the eat or be eaten mindset, the mentality that you are the center of the universe. You have to take care of yourself because everyone's out to get you, blah, blah, blah. Instead of this collective approach of like equality, humanity, empathy that is completely gone when it comes to men. Once again, I'll say it so you don't have to. Not all men. Makes me sad. And I want to talk about my own inner misogyny. Let's go back to Love Island. I'm watching it in Casa Amor, and I see these girls like, you know, flirting, trying to get with these guys, which is the whole point of Casa Amor, where you're trying to actually see if there's a potential connection, and, you know, you are a test is what they call you. And it's not only women, it's men as well. So that's fair. But I was like, why are these girls throwing themselves at these guys just to get in? These girls are throwing themselves at them when I'm like, I don't say the same thing about the men in Casa Amor. I literally had to catch myself the other night being like, that's the inner misogyny right then and there. That's me almost slut shaming actually. These women who are literally doing what the whole point of this show is. Finding connection, trying to make it on the show, because if you get on the show, you get more successful. But I don't look at that the same way with men. I give them a pass at that the entire time. And it's important to call yourself out with that. And it really makes me sad when women are a part of the misogyny. For example, when women take part in misogyny, that's like soul crushing. Right now, Katy Perry came out with a song called Woman's World, and she wrote it alongside 3 other men, and one of those men are Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke is a predator. He did essay Kesha, and people are still working with him. People are still working with him, overlooking all of that. Not believing women and not believing survivors and victims, that's misogyny right then and there. And this whole thing is like she's stuck in 2012 when fucking E.T. and Roar came out, and she's like, white feminism, blah, blah, blah. Honey, didn't you put Rick Caruso on Twitter that you're like a photo of you filling out the LA County ballot, voting him for mayor of LA? What? She's all about like girlhood, girl power, blah, blah, blah. That is like, that's almost worse than men. And no, that's not misogyny for me from saying that. It's, or is it? Huh. I don't know. But like, that's the whole point of that. That pisses me off. I want to go back to how everything's embedded in misogyny. For example, It's interesting. Men are only respectful to women if they have a chance that they could fuck you, if they find you attractive. Men wanting wifey, not a side hoe. They want someone not ran through. They want someone with good family values. They want someone, but I'm like, they want someone well-traveled. They want someone with a college degree. Honey, didn't you get your GED like 5 years ago and then also not have a passport? What? Why are there only diaper changes in women's bathrooms? It's crazy to me how I know this episode's so fucking depressing, but it's just annoying to me and I'm over it and I'm just sick of misogyny and I'm sick of men disrespecting women. And that is that on that. We'll move on. So I've recently lost a lot of weight. I'm feeling like a skinny legend. I am eating very healthfully. I am working out. It's a very balanced diet. And it's actually crazy because I've realized people are more attracted to me now than I was when I was 30 pounds heavier. By the way, still as beautiful. I was beautiful then. I'm beautiful now. But I find it so, like, I'm very curious as to the fact that, like, when I go to a bar and I get a drink, the bartenders are waiting on me faster if they're a man. I feel like people are kinder to me when I go into dressing rooms, that they're like more willing to help me find different sizes to find the right clothing. I'm realizing that people are like smiling at me on the streets more. And I'm never going to claim that I was like fat or very overweight. But it's just interesting to see like how people view me differently based on how I look and based on my body is crazy. And I realize the way I carry myself is way more confident because I'm skinnier now. And that's just really, it's a lot for me to take in. And I was talking to my therapist about it. I'm like, why am I more confident now that I'm skinnier when this amount of self-love should have been there 30 pounds ago? Anyways, I have some exciting news to share with you guys in the next couple weeks. I haven't told many people yet, but I'm really, really, really excited. I am pregnant! I'm joking, I'd rather die. But I will share the news when I'm ready to, and I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned for then. And I know this was a depressing, dark-ass episode, but we'll get more funny in the next couple weeks. I've been out of the game in podcasting for the last 2 months, so things have been kind of crazy. But I'm excited to catch up with you guys, and I really missed you. Have a good rest of your week, and remember to register to vote. Thank you. All right, bye, guys. See you next week.